Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat. Or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today I'm going to be working again on my Jasper C, so I'm going to move things around a bit, zoom in to where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, let me start my timer here. So jump in to my life update, what's been going on since the last time I talked to you guys. So my week started out with a bunch of drama. Hubby goes to work on Sundays, so he's gone all week, so he left Sunday night. I woke up Monday morning really early, not sure why, and realized I could hear water running. And I thought, oh no, did I accidentally leave the sink running last night after I brushed my teeth and everything before I went to bed? So I go in the bathroom to discover that it's not the sink, that something has broken in the toilet, and basically the water has been running for goodness knows how long. Thank goodness for the overflow drain in the toilet, or my bathroom would have been flooded. So I called hubby. He's trying to walk me through, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. We can't figure out what's wrong with it. I just turned the water off so the water would stop running. And I was like, well, next month's bill is going to not be fun, because I had no idea if it was running all night, if it was only running part of the night. Basically, the float broke in it, so it didn't know the tank was full, and it just kept running and running and running. I didn't know how to fix any of that, and so hubby ended up driving home on Monday to fix it, which we could have just waited, and I told him that we have 2 bathrooms in our house, so it was fine. The water still worked. It was just the toilet was broken, so I could still take showers and stuff, and I said I can just use the other bathroom until you get home, because he didn't want to call a plumber. He thought he knew what was wrong with it, but it's just one of those things where, me never having done it before, it's not really easy to walk someone through it over the telephone. I told him he didn't have to come home. He ended up doing it anyway. We talked about calling a plumber, but we figured it was going to be expensive, for one. 2, who knew when they could get to us, because it wasn't a true emergency. It wasn't like we had water flooding the basement or anything like that, so I wasn't going to be a priority. Around here, you pay for a call out, whether they do anything or not. And then I told my husband, if you think you can fix it, then we're probably going to end up paying double or triple the price for the part, plus paying an actual plumber to come out and do this. If you think you can fix it, then we'll just wait until you come home. He comes home on Thursday nights. We would have Friday to try and get somebody if it was truly an issue. But he ended up coming home on Monday and fixing it. It took him all of about 20 minutes to fix it. And he showed me what he did. So if it happens again, I now can fix it if I need to. But then we got to talking about, gosh, I really wish they taught these kind of things in school. Both of my kids have told me that they wished the schools taught them, like my son took a personal finance class, and it was about opening a checking account and all that. But both he and my daughter are like, why don't they talk to us about, walk us through a fake paying your taxes situation? And I told my husband, I said, I wish they would teach them things like how to change a tire, how to check your oil, which my dad taught me how to do that. So I know it shouldn't have to be up to the school, but it would be nice if they did those kind of things. Financial information. I just feel like it's hard to teach people how to manage money, because by the time you learn it, you're using your actual money, which seems like a scary time to have to make a mistake. Anyway, so he came home, he fixed it, and then we had more excitement because Monday night was supposed to be a bunch of huge storms. And I had several of you check on me. Thank you very much. We came through it just fine, but I appreciate everyone checking. However, hubby, on the way back to work, after he fixed everything, he could see the bad weather rolling in, because it was late in the afternoon by the time he headed back to work, and he actually pulled over in a small town close to where he was going to kind of wait it out a little bit because it looked like it was going to be going right over him. It actually missed where he was, so he didn't end up having to drive through anything, which was good. And then we were kind of chuckling because it actually ended up being good that he came home, because where he would have been working that day did get hit, not with a tornado, but with rain and some hail. And one of the guys that he works with, his almost brand new truck has a bunch of hail damage because they got hail. Nothing huge, nothing really big, but it doesn't take much hail to dent your car. So he was grateful that he missed that, so he didn't have to worry about his car getting hailed on, this week at least. Like I said, we didn't get anything here, so he missed it because he came back home, and it rained for a little bit here, not a lot, and we had some pretty decent wind gusts. Nothing too terrible, but some decent ones, and that's it. Most of it ended up hitting the people in Oklahoma, so we didn't get a ton of it. I was expecting it to be worse than it was. My daughter actually called me Monday afternoon because they let the kids out of school early. They said it was going to be golf ball sized or larger hail here, and they didn't want the kids getting on and off the buses and walking home in weather like that, so they let the kids go early. And I told her, I said, I can't remember in my lifetime being let out because of hail. Because of snow, yes. Because of possible tornadoes, yes, but hail, I don't remember. I mean, it may have happened, but I don't remember that. She got out of work early, which was good because then she was able to get home. I told my husband, not that it matters for her, she doesn't have covered parking, so her car was going to be exposed no matter what, but at least she was home and not out and about having to drive home in it, because that's always scary. I have been caught out driving before in a hailstorm, and it's not fun. It always sounds so much louder inside the car than anywhere else, which I guess is probably because you're essentially just sitting in a tin can and it echoes. But I can remember trying to park under a bridge waiting for it to kind of pass over so I could go home because I don't want to drive in it. That's a surefire way to get your car dented and windshield broke and all that good stuff. And it's graduation weekend. My nephew is graduating from high school today. Today is officially my son's last assignment. Most of his grades have been entered, but the business simulation that he's been doing, because it's a kind of a countrywide thing, it ends today because all the colleges don't have the same schedules, obviously. So he'll be officially done. Other than that, all of his other classes are finished. So he was asking me at one of our walks this week when we were going to start really kind of packing, sorting, getting everything done. And I said, well, I'm going to continue to work on it while my husband's at work. My son says, well, I can help because he's done with school now. And I said, well, I said I was going to ask you, but I was waiting until you're done with school. And he said, well, I am done. Okay. So he's excited to help sort, paint, all of that stuff, which is good. So hopefully things like that will go a little bit faster. I did this weekend, hubby and I cleaned out our furnace room. So all that's really left down there is some like filters for the furnace and our freezer, which we won't clean out until we're ready to go because that will be staying here. We have an upright freezer down there. We have gotten to the point in the basement where we pretty much could pull everything into the middle of the room so we could paint. So my son and I may do that during the week. So maybe we can start painting next weekend when my husband comes home. I did this weekend go through some of our kitchen. I have a bunch of cake decorating supplies because I used to do cake decorating. And I have quite a collection of cake decorating tips and everything, and I hate to get rid of it, but I told my husband, with my carpal tunnel, I don't really decorate anymore. I make cakes every once in a while for family, but that's pretty much it. While I would like to do it again, for what I want to do, I don't need all the things that I have, so we're trying to sell that set of stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Went through and got rid of a bunch of glasses and cups and things that we didn't need. Took a trip to our local thrift shop and gave them a bunch of the stuff as we went through it. I've gone through pretty much most of my closet. I'm going to spend some time this week going through. We have 2 dressers in our room. I've gone through one of them and it's pretty much empty except for one drawer. And I've gone through my drawers in the other one, which is my clothes and things. But I have a vanity table that belonged to my mom that I need to go through because I'm not taking that. And I have a little jewelry armoire that was my mom's as well that I'm likely going to be getting rid of. And I told my husband, I said, I am actually having an easier time letting go of things than I thought I would. There have been a few things that I've struggled with, and even some things that I originally said, yeah, I want to take that with us, that I've decided now, no, you know what? We just need to leave it behind. It's not worth the effort and expense of taking it up there with us. And I said, this has been a good exercise for me, I think, to kind of practice what I preach. I have always, since my parents passed, I've told my kids, that was just a lesson for me that you can't take it with you. So why bother collecting all of this stuff that when you're gone, nobody wants? I would rather spend time and money on experiences, vacations, and making memories and things like that. And I'm sure I'm going to want to do even more of that so that I can come back here and visit my daughter or have her come visit us. So it's been a little easier to let go of things than I actually had anticipated. And we're trying to downsize, so we don't need all of the things that we have. I'm hoping that will make things easier in the long run too. I like our house, but we knew when we moved in this was not our forever home. It's just a big house. It's a lot to take care of and maintain, clean, the yard, all that kind of stuff. And I'm ready to have something smaller to maintain. That's part of what I'm looking forward to as well. And part of the reason we're not taking everything, I read an article that said you shouldn't buy any furniture until you've lived in your house for a little bit, because you don't know how you're going to use your new space. And I told my husband that rang so true with me because, of course, we owned a house before we moved into this one. So we brought all of our furniture and everything with us. Well, the houses were not set up the same. Roughly the same size. We moved out of a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. When we moved in here, it was 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. The basement wasn't finished, so we ended up adding 2 more bedrooms in the basement, and there's room to add a 3rd bathroom. We just never did that. So roughly the same size, but not configured in the same way, and we just don't use the space in the same way. And my husband and my kids are both, all of them, in the habit of shucking coats, obviously, as soon as they come in, but also shoes. So we constantly, and we just have a very small entry space. Our front hall closet is not huge, and it was stuffed full of stuff. So then we added a coat rack behind the door with hooks for people to hang coats and stuff on that is constantly full. Even when I empty out the front hall closet, stuff still gets hung on those hooks rather than on hangers in the closet. I told my husband, because of the way they take off shoes and stuff, there's constantly shoes in the way when people come in the front door. And I said, if we don't have like a mudroom area in wherever we are so that you can do all that stuff in kind of that mudroom entry area, I'm going to want a shoe rack or something at the front door so that it's not just this constant pile of shoes that's just in everybody's way, which he's fine with. But it's just one of those things where, had we thought about it and I realized the house was going to be used that way, we would have maybe made some changes before we'd been here for 10 years. So, yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to kind of starting over in a lot of ways, if that makes sense. I mean, it's scary to think of that, but also kind of exciting. So yeah, we're still packing, sorting, painting, all that good stuff. hubby was telling me he was actually visiting with his old boss because his old boss works the same company he does. They were talking about how they'd been lucky to end up with the jobs when they got them, because if you remember, they had been told when my husband's previous company closed that these other companies who were going to be basically left in the state when all the other contractors were closing would be picking them up. They have not. They picked up a few people, but then they ended up laying a whole bunch of people off. And my husband's old boss was talking to another person who used to work with them who hasn't managed to find anything, and they're coming up on now, it's been long enough, their unemployment is running out, health insurance is running out, and there's still no jobs around here. So hubby and I are crossing our fingers that he's supposed to be meeting with these financial advisors next week. Crossing my fingers it doesn't get postponed again. He spent part of yesterday printing a bunch of stuff about his Social Security and things like that. The advisors asked him to print out a bunch of information about his Social Security and gather his retirement papers and that sort of thing. So he was busy printing all of that stuff off, and then he's asking me, well, he needs a password for his Services Canada account. I'm like, I don't think, to my knowledge, you've never made one. You've never needed one from Service Canada because you've been living here and working here. So why would you need that? He swore that he had made one whenever we were doing all of the applications and everything for our permanent residency. And I said, I don't think so. I don't. I remember that being on the immigration part. And he said, well, it's all part of the same website. It's all Services Canada. And I'm like, I don't know if it works that way because all of our paperwork was specific to, anyway, whatever it was, it didn't work when he tried it. So I don't know what he's doing now. Hopefully my printer doesn't start going off in the middle of my WIP and chat because he's trying to print something. Okay, let's see. I think I'm getting to the point where I need some of the black, but I need to go pull my black AB, so I'll be right back. Okay, I do not have very many black ABs at all, so I guess as I work on this, I can see, because I'll be working on other things too, I can see if any of the other kits I'm going to be working on have black ABs. I'm thinking was it my Yorkie that I just opened one that had some black ABs? Although it's kind of funny, these right here are the, what is that, either 3371 or 939, probably 3371. They look like they're almost the same. If I put them next to each other, they almost look like the same AB. I wonder if that will make a difference. I'm going to be interspersing this with some actual black drills though, since I don't have enough ABs to do a one-to-one conversion. I'll just sprinkle some in randomly here and there, and then I'll fill in the rest with actual black 310, regular 310. We're hoping to get good news from the financial advisors that maybe we'll be able to pull out a decent chunk of his retirement to maybe purchase a house or something up there. Or at least we'll get information that lets us know that our financial situation will be a little more stable than we thought, which would go a long way to alleviating a lot of our worries, or my worries anyway. My husband never worries about that, which is simultaneously nice and also frustrating because when I want to vent about it, he just doesn't see why it's a big concern, which up until now it hasn't been, but we're both getting older, body's getting tireder, and just would be nice to not have to feel like he had to kill himself trying to make enough for us to survive on once he retires. We'll see what happens. We've got plans and backup plans and triple backup plans and all that kind of stuff, so we'll see. Okay, so I think that's most of the update for my personal life. What's going on in my diamond painting life? Kind of a boring week there as well. First for me, I got an email from a company asking me to do some product reviews for them. but the email was entirely in French. So I don't know if they think I speak French because I've talked about it so much. I don't. I did learn enough from my Rosetta Stone lessons, which I have neglected and probably should get back to, that I think I understood what they were asking. I didn't do Google Translate. I just kind of read through it, and I think I figured out that's what they were asking. I started following this lady on YouTube, and I think I've talked about her before. She's from America, but she lives in France. She's going to school there, and she's always doing like little shorts about the French language and everything. And she did one where she was talking about numbers. And my husband and I, that's actually pretty much where I stopped when I was doing the Rosetta Stone, because it got confusing and they didn't really explain it well and I didn't understand. For example, something about like French, and I don't know if this is, somebody made the comment in the comment section that most of this is France French, which is different from Canadian French, and also Canadian French is also different depending on where in Canada you are. So I don't know, but apparently in France French is what they were talking about. They don't say like 80, they say 420s. So sort of like saying 4 and 7 years ago, but that's just so confusing. And she was like talking about birth years and the way they do it and how old people are and how much something costs. And it was the how much something costs that got me, because that was one of the lessons in my Rosetta Stone. The prices didn't make any sense the way that I thought I understood how the numbers work. Apparently, from 1 to 50, they're sort of quote unquote normal, or like the way English works for numbers. But then after that, they can get a bit wonky depending on where you are. So yeah, it was interesting. Anyway, complete side tangent, just because I got that email in French and I thought, what are they sending this to me for? Anyway, I was looking at some new companies because, like I told you guys, I was trying to find some new places to buy some kits from. I did actually buy some kits this last week from some new to me companies, so I'm excited to see when they will get here. Although somebody had said that some of the UK companies, I had said I wanted to avoid those because I didn't want to have to pay shipping. And somebody had said that their shipping actually wasn't that bad. So I was looking at a UK website and I found a couple of kits that I wanted to order. However, when I tried to order them, it would not take my card. It kept declining my card. So I tried it the first time and I thought it was some fluke. And so I tried it again and it still didn't go through. And I was like, well, this is a sign that I'm not meant to have these kits, because I'm not going to just keep sitting here and running my card through. So I don't know what the issue was, but yeah, that's just the universe saying, hey, you don't need these. So I ended up going to some other websites and buying from them. So I've got some kits coming from them, which is awesome. Although when I was looking for all of these kits, even some of the people that are saying it's licensed art, it's obviously AI, which technically can't be copyrighted, so technically it's not licensed. But also there were a couple of sites where they have artist names attached to them. It's supposedly artists who are using Midjourney and other AI things to initiate and create something, and then they go in with like Photoshop or whatever and make corrections and things like that, make changes. But it all just kind of looks the same, you know what I mean? And there's a couple of color schemes that it seems like so much AI art uses. One of them is what I call the cotton candy color scheme, where it's like it's all these very light pastel pinks and blues and purples. Like I saw a Santa Claus that was in like light pink instead of red, and the picture looked cool, but it was just, I've come to associate that color scheme with AI art now. And of course, so much of the AI art is so hyper realistic and so detailed that every time I look at it, I just think if I buy this, it would need to be massive in order to not be pixelated with all the details. That's something else too. I am just not a huge fan of websites where they offer multiple sizes of a kit. I mean, one, it kind of makes it feel like drop shipping, because surely they don't have all of those different sizes in stock, right? So essentially you're pre-ordering a kit that they send to the manufacturer, then the manufacturer makes it, and then it gets sent out and all of that. So it's not really in stock. I would rather buy something that I know is going to look good. So even though it can be kind of frustrating because some of the kits end up being very large, I want my kit to be large enough that it looks good. And having had, whether it's Dreamer Designs or Bella Art or Diamond Art Club or Orloa or whoever it is, have already gone through and said, okay, we think this size is good, gives enough detail without making it overly large. I need less choices. And that may just be a me thing. It probably is a me thing, because a lot of websites where you're picking those sizes, they don't give you a rendering. So it's very hard to tell sometimes whether or not that picture is going to look good at the size you picked without some sort of frame of reference. And some of them were kind of pricey. I looked at one website, a 30 by 30, they wanted $45. And that just seems so expensive. Even if it is licensed, that seems pricey to me. I mean, maybe that's just me. That was a US company, and it was going to be shipping to me, so that's not like shipping anything. That's just for the kit. I also ended up scrolling through Amazon because I was trying to see if there were any supplies, accessories, things that were on sale that would be a good deal. Not that I need anything extra. I'm just always looking for something. I didn't find anything, but I did have a chuckle with my husband because one of the listings that I came across, it was a listing for tweezers. You know, just the black plain tweezers that you get in a bunch of kits in their toolkit and everything. 3 pairs of tweezers, and they wanted $7.99 for it. And I thought, who is buying these at those kind of prices? I mean, I could just get a couple of budget kits for that price and probably get 3 pairs of tweezers included, plus all the diamond paintings. So it just seemed crazy to me what the prices are. I mean, I know prices everywhere are up, but that just kind of blew my mind. Hubby and I had a pretty good chuckle over that one. Oh, I also had to chuckle because, you know, as you make stuff for YouTube, well, maybe it's just me. I don't spend a lot of time looking at my analytics and trying to dissect what people are doing and that sort of thing. I just figure if I'm doing a good job, then more people will watch it. And if more people watch it, then the algorithm's going to recommend me. And it's just, you know, I feel like I'm doing okay. I'm not in my nose in my algorithms all the time to look at that kind of stuff. Although I was very surprised, for me and a lot of other YouTubers, there's a huge percentage of people who watch videos who are not subscribers, which fair. I understand if people don't want to subscribe to a million different channels. I feel the same way. But if you feel like you're getting some value out of my channel, I would love to have you as a subscriber. So hit that little subscribe button and then you won't miss anything that I put out. Anyway, somebody had given me the name of a new diamond painting company, so I went to check it out. Whenever I go look at a new diamond painting company, I'm nosy, I guess. I just want to know things. So I go look at their privacy policy, their shipping policy, their refund policy, their terms of service. I usually almost always look at their terms of service because, especially if it's a company I've never heard of before, their terms of service will usually have to tell you what laws govern that website so you can see where they're actually located. Because sometimes where they say their headquarters is not the laws that they say they're governed by. So that's always good to know. But I went to, I think it was an FAQ page or something like that. And they had linked on one of their questions, linked one of my videos, which I thought was hilarious. At first I was like, well, they didn't even ask me. And then I thought, well, of course they didn't ask me. The video is out on YouTube for anybody to look at and link to and whatever. So then I was like, why am I upset about this? I should just be appreciative that they thought it was important enough and that I must have done a good enough job on it with the information that they felt the need to link to it. So it's all good. It's all in your approach, all in your perspective. What else is going on in my diamond painting life? I opened my first, I hope, DP for Pets kit. I unboxed my Yorkie. If you didn't see that, go check out yesterday's video. I haven't finished this up here at the top, but I think I'm gonna move on to this next section here so that I can do some more without having to move the camera. So I opened my Yorkie. It's so cute. I'm so ready. I want to have a dog again. We've always had dogs when I was growing up. We always had one. My kids were little. We had several. And just we've been planning this move for so long. After our last ones were gone, we decided we're just going to wait until we get up there. Of course, it's just ended up taking way longer than we thought it would to get up there. But I've always loved Yorkies. I think they're so cute. Just little balls of fluffy goodness. My son thinks I'm crazy for wanting one. And I don't know if we'll get a small dog like that. I'm leaning towards I would rather have something a little bit bigger because we don't know what my husband's going to be doing and he might be traveling for work. If it's just going to be me and my son or just me, because I don't know what my son's plans are, then I might have a German Shepherd, a Doberman. My husband would really like an Australian Sheepdog. He really wants a Husky, but I don't want a dog that that's too active, especially if it's going to be left with me all the time rather than my husband. And I don't want one that has a ton of hair. We've had a Doberman before, and I really like Dobermans. And German Shepherds that have hair, but at least it's short hair. Our dachshunds were long-haired, and oh my goodness, yeah. And who knows what we'll end up with. We're planning to just rescue one from the pound, but so we'll get whatever works for us when we go, but we'll see. Anyway, I opened my Yorkie. That's the first one that I'm going to be working on. Hopefully, like I said, I will get to do more than one, and that one is a partial, so it should go pretty quickly. I wouldn't think it was going to take me a ton of time, but you never know. So I'm still working hard on the J-wall. I've passed the halfway point, so I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I do still have, I think, 4.5 rows to go, but I'm getting there. I did show briefly me working on it a bit. I did a video on working on canvases with a lot of confetti. That video seemed pretty popular, so thank you to everybody that watched that one and commented on it. I'm hoping to finish it this week. That means I have a couple of weeks to finish Jasper C, because I also want to look through my want list. I haven't done a kit off of that list yet for May. I would like to get that done as well. I'm already a month behind because I didn't do one in March. I don't want to put myself 2 months behind, but I suppose if I don't get to one this month, that probably isn't the end of the world. I mean, it's just a goal. It can change. But also, once I get the J-wall finished, I don't have any other kits that are that large, which means that I will hopefully have time to complete more kits per month now that I'm not working on such a huge project like that. Again, we'll see. I was going to say, in theory, I'll have more time, but June will be busy with DP for Pets and us finishing up all of the stuff that we need to do to get the house ready. I told my husband I would like to have our house on the market by the end of this month. I don't know if we'll be done with all the painting and fixing and everything that we need to do by then, but we need to get it on the market. We have no idea how long it will take to sell. And I don't want to be making plans that we're going to be gone in the end of July, and at the end of July we're still sitting here with a house that hasn't sold. Some of that may depend too also again on whatever the financial people tell us, but so June, and also we'll be busy with DP for Pets. I don't think that's going to be too much of a hassle for me as far as things go. I am going to be packing up a lot of my diamond painting stuff, but I should be able to leave out enough things that it won't be too big of a deal that I'm packing stuff away. I'm getting rid of stuff more than I'm packing stuff away. I have a bunch of my kits out of my stash packed away, but other than that, I think we're still good. I'm going to need to pack up some stuff, or at least move some stuff around, because the bedroom that I'm using for my office slash studio slash craft room, we need to paint in here as well. So we'll need to move everything around so we can paint, pull everything away from the walls so we can paint in here. It shouldn't take too long. It's not a huge bedroom, but yeah, just things we need to do. Anyway, so DP for Pets is next month. If you haven't signed up yet for that, go check out yesterday's video where I unboxed my Yorkie kit. There's a link for the entry form. I do love seeing all of the kits that everybody is going to be working on. So what I'm planning to do, I'm not going to make a separate group, Facebook group for the event itself. I know so many people do that, but I just don't. I barely have time to navigate the group that I already have. So what I'm planning on doing is using the Facebook group that already exists, my Diamond Painting Anonymous Facebook group, which if you're not in that, go ahead and join it. We would love to have you. I'm going to try and make regular, hopefully daily posts, and ask everyone to comment and leave pictures of their progress so that I can see everybody's progress. It's just so much fun to see everybody else's paintings. Number one, to see what everybody else has picked to work on, but just seeing pictures of it in progress is always so interesting to me. Plus, maybe there'll be something out there that I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. I need to have that one. Where did you get it? And same for you guys. Maybe you'll see one that somebody else is working on that you think is absolutely gorgeous that you need to have. So that's the plan anyway. Like I said, June may be a little bit crazy for me. I hope not. I actually hope it will be a little bit less crazy with my son helping me out with things. I did tell my husband the other day, I went through several cabinets in the kitchen. We went through our furnace room. I've gone through half of my closet, half of my dresser drawers, that sort of thing. We've gotten rid of some furniture. We're trying to get rid of some more. I'm thinking, he's got some of our furniture up on Facebook for sale. I'm thinking what we might want to do is when we have citywide garage sales, just take a bunch of our furniture out. He doesn't want to do it because he doesn't like to have to spend multiple days and lots of hours out in the... I just stuck that one in the wrong place. I stuck two of those in the wrong place. I'm forgetting what symbol I'm working on here. Okay, those are all right. Those were all right. These two are also wrong. Guys, I get to talking and my brain just takes a leave of absence. All right, anyway, for the citywide garage sales, he doesn't like doing it because he just thinks it takes too much time. And I was like, well, what if we just, like one day, like that Friday or Saturday, or maybe both days, but just for those days, 8 to noon or 8 to 1 or 6 to 12, something like that, 7 to 12, and we just, the furniture that we know we don't want to take, put it out there, put a big thing up that says moving sale, and then see if we get lucky and somebody will just come get all of it. His thing about that is he doesn't want to have to drag it all like up out of the basement and then back in the house if nobody wants it. I'm like, well, I get that, but maybe by the time that gets here, we'll have enough other stuff gone that it won't be the big deal that he thinks it is. Something to think about anyway, to see it's an option if we're not getting rid of things as fast as we would like. That seems like a good place to stop. I'm really liking these extra ABs that I'm putting in there too. I think that's turning out pretty good. Let me zoom out here so you guys can see what I've done. So as you can see, I haven't gotten a ton finished. I just have a little bit here to finish on this section. This section is going pretty good. I am going to go, I think it was the Yorkie that had ABs for 310. I don't know how many there are. I thought I had more than that, but maybe I'm thinking of square ones that I had more of. It actually doesn't look too bad that I have them mixed in right there. I'm okay with how it's getting mixed in. The 371s mixing in right there, it's not too bad. I probably should have, I'll probably pick some of these out and sprinkle in some of the 310s. I didn't do that there. At least until I run out. We'll see how far I get. It's a pretty big section of black right there. Maybe I'll just order some more. That might be the smartest thing to do, just order some 310 ABs. We'll see. Thanks for sticking around to the end of all my rambling, guys. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.